Hey, welcome to the next tutorial in Dmod creation. In this tutorial I'm going to go over a bit about different procedures. We've worked mainly with the talk procedure, so now we're going to work with a couple of other procedures and learn those. So what you want to do is open Windink at a plus and open the OOTR, which is a Dmod we've been working on. And I'm going to assume you've watched all the previous tutorials as usual, because I'm going to go a little bit faster now. I'm not going to explain every single element that I've already explained to save video time. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at this guy again and go over what the procedure does again. So as you can see, we've got the talk procedure here, which is made up of void, talk, void in brackets. As I explained before, these voids, you have to write them, but they literally do nothing. The word that tells you what you're working with is this one right here. So we know we're working with the talk procedure. And basically what this does is, let's say Dink is standing near this guy and presses the space bar, which is the talk button. The computer's going to look around Dink for any sprite with a script attached. It's going to find this guy. It's got the guy script attached. And it's going to look for a talk procedure, and it'll find one because there's one right here, and then it's going to run everything in between these two curly brackets. So it's going to run everything here. It's going to run everything inside the talk procedure. Okay, so let's say Dink was to hit this guy. The same thing's going to happen. Dink has interacted with this sprite, so the computer's going to look at this sprite and say, okay, it's got a script attached. It's going to open up that script. It's going to say, okay, let's find the hit procedure. It's going to look through the script. That's a talk procedure, so it's not going to do anything there. And it won't be able to find a hit procedure because there isn't one. So it's going to do nothing. It's going to say, okay, there's no hit procedure. Just forget about it. Just don't do anything. So let's say we want something to happen when Dink hits the sprite. We're going to add a hit procedure now. So basically we can add this anywhere we want, obviously, except we can't add it inside the talk procedure, because that's another procedure and that wouldn't work. It has to be separate on its own. It could be before the talk procedure, or you can put it after it. It doesn't matter. Either way, the computer's going to open this script and say, okay, let's have a look. This is the talk procedure. Don't run that, because Dink's hit the sprite. It's going to keep looking and see if it can find a hit procedure. And it's going to find one because we're going to add one here. So let's write void hit void. It's the exact same thing, but it's a hit procedure. So you write the two voids that literally do nothing, and then this word right here, which is hit, lets you know what procedure you're working with. So now the computer is going to open this script when Dink hits a sprite and say, let's look for the hit procedure. It's going to say, okay, there's a hit procedure. Let's run everything in between these brackets. So let's add a command in between these brackets for the computer to run. So let's just add a simple say command. We're going to make the green guy say something. So remember to add his color code, number 2, which makes his text green. And he's simply going to say, ouch, what was that for? And with a question mark and an exclamation mark as if he's yelling it. And it's the end current sprite that's saying that, because the end current sprite, as I said, is always the sprite that it is attached to. In this case, the script is attached to the green guy. So the green guy will say it. So let's close this now, and let's try that out. Okay, so I'm going to go over here. First I'll talk to the guy to show you the talk procedure still works, because when Dink talks to him, the computer looks in that script, finds the talk procedure, and then runs everything in the talk procedure in between those brackets. So now when Dink hits the guy, he also says, ouch, what was that for? Because Dink has interacted with the guy, he's hit him, the computer's looked into that script, found a hit procedure, and run everything in between those brackets, which in this case is that one say line. So you can see how that works. Okay, so we've added another procedure to the to this person. Now let's go down and modify another sprite. Let's add something to this tree. And before we continue with this tree, let's just update this script a little bit with everything we've learnt, because this was the first script we made, and it's still all old and outdated basically, because we've learnt new stuff and never went back and modified it. So first up, I'm going to add a wait command here, because it's changing from the tree saying something to Dink saying something. So I'm going to add a wait 200 milliseconds. So that, just because I like to do that when it's changing from one sprite to another, so that text stays up there that little bit longer, but the player can still skip it if they choose to by pressing space. And I'm also going to give the tree a color code, so its text isn't also yellow. So tilde key, and I'm just going to pick a random number. We'll go 6. I'm not sure what color that is, but we'll soon find out. So its color code is 6. And now let's add another procedure. I'm going to add a push procedure. I'm going to show you what that does right now. We haven't added it yet, so nothing's going to happen, but let me just explain this. So let's go over to the tree. And if we push the tree, nothing happens, as you can see. Nothing at all. Because the computer has looked at that tree, seen that it has a script. It's opened up that script right here. This is the script, and it's saying, okay, Dink has pushed the tree. Well, let's find a push procedure, and there isn't one, so it's not going to do anything. Just like when there wasn't a hit procedure, and it didn't do anything. So no push procedure, do nothing, close the script, don't worry about it. But we want something to happen when Dink pushes the tree, so let's do that. Let's add a push procedure. Void push void. Very straightforward, exactly the same as I've said. Open bracket, close bracket. Now the computer's going to look in here, say, okay, there's a push procedure. Let's run everything in between these brackets. And I'm just going to add a simple conversation to this tree. I'm going to freeze Dink, because I want it's going to be more than one line. And since it's the tree, we don't need to freeze the tree, because the tree can't move. It doesn't have, if we have the tree and we Dink at it, its speed is 0. It can't move, which is logical for a tree. So we'll leave it like that. So we only need to freeze Dink anyway, because the tree can't move around. And let's add the first say line by the tree. And its color code is 6, remember that? So we're going to put color code 6. And we're going to have the tree say, I am 3 years old. Ha, ha, ha. Old joke from the original game. And it's the end current sprite. The sprite that the script's attached to, which is a tree, is going to say that. And then I'm going to add a wait 200, because we're going to change to Dink saying something. If you can hear that yelling in the background, don't worry about it. It's just a couple of kids. And so now Dink's going to say something. And Dink's going to say, that's not funny. And that's 1, because Dink is always referred to as 1. And wait 200. Actually, I'm going to change Dink's line a little bit. That's not funny. Now please move. And then the tree is going to say, ha, you truly think you can push me around? That's the end current sprite, because that's the tree saying it. Wait 200, and then Dink's going to say, I guess not. And then unfreeze Dink, because that's the end of the conversation. Okay, so I'm going to zoom this in right here, in case I've gone a little bit fast, and you can pause it and have a look. If you've watched the previous tutorials, look over it and it will become clear. I'm typing a little bit faster now to save video time, so there you go. So what's going to happen now is going to push this tree, and the computer's going to look in the tree script. It's going to say, let's find a push procedure. It's going to say, look, here's a push procedure. Let's run everything in between these brackets. In this case, it's this conversation. So that's going to happen now. So let's try that out. Lots of yelling in the background, sorry about that, if you can hear that. So let's push it, and I am 3 years old, ha ha ha. That's not funny, now please move. Ha, you really think you can push me around? I guess not. So there you go, you can see with that we've added a push procedure, so now when Dink pushes the tree, that happens. And the talk procedure still works. And we can see now that the color code we chose, number 6, is actually orange. So that works good now. And you can see we've added a talk procedure, we've added a hit procedure, we've added a push procedure. There are some other procedures you can add up later, including custom procedures. But that is the main idea behind procedures. Any script attached to a sprite, if that sprite gets interacted with, the computer's going to look into that script, find the appropriate procedure depending on what Dink has done, whether he's talked, pushed or hit, and it's going to run that procedure. So that is the idea of procedures. I hope that was clear. If not, watch over it again. I'm sure it'll become clear. Go along with it, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next tutorial.